February 15, 1898. A thunderous boom shatters Havana's night. The mighty USS Maine lies in ruins, 266 American sailors entombed in twisted steel. Was it sabotage, accident, or the spark that ignites an empire's fall? In just 113 days, this splendid little war catapults a young America from continental power to global colossus, seizing islands, toppling kings, and igniting debates on empire that rage to this day. Strap in, this is the Spanish-American War, where glory met gunpowder and the world reordered. To understand 1898, rewind to the ghosts of 1492. Christopher Columbus's sails unfurled an era of Spanish conquest. Gold from the Aztecs, silver from the Incas, souls saved at sword point. By the 19th century, Spain's once mighty empire crumbled under revolutions. Mexico independent in 1821, most of South America by 1830. Left clinging. Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the distant Philippines. Jewels, stained by brutality and neglect. Cuba, the pearl of the Antilles, pulsed with sugar wealth, but festered under Spanish rule. Plantations thrived on slave labor until abolition in 1886, yet Criollo's native-born elites demanded more: home rule, tariffs eased, an end to Madrid's meddling. Enter the poet revolutionary. Exiled in New York, he pens fiery manifestos. I carry the banner of liberty. In 1895, he invades from Florida with 1,200 exiles. Falls early, shot in the Dos ambush, but his death ignites the 10 Years' War's sequel. Cuban insurgents, under Antonio Maceo, wage guerrilla hell, torch cane fields, dynamite trains, starve Spanish garrisons. General Valeriano Weyler, de Butcher, responds with reconcentración erding, 300,000 civilians into disease-riddled camps. Starvation, typhus claim 100,000 lives. Britannica.com, word crosses the Florida Straits. Via cigar workers and emigres, fueling American outrage. Why? Proximity. Cuba's just 90 miles south. Economics: U.S. investors hold $50 million in bonds, $100 million in property. Ideology: the Monroe Doctrine. James Monroe's 1823 edict warns Europe, hands off the Americas. America in the 1890s, a nation restless. The frontier closes. 1890 census declares it gone. Industrial titans like Rockefeller and Carnegie build fortunes, but labor riots scar Haymarket, Pullman, Imperial fever brews. Alfred Thayer, Mahan's influence of sea power upon history, 1890, preaches naval might for markets abroad. Missionaries, I civilize in Asia. Jingos like Senator Henry Cabot Lodge chant, expansion or extinction. Enter yellow journalism, the ink-stained excellent William Randolph Hearst's New York Journal and Joseph Pulitzer's World Duel and Circulation Wars, printing atrocities real and fabricated. Sketch artist Frederick Remington wires Hearst. All is quiet. No war, wish to return, Hearst replies. Please remain, you furnish the pictures, I'll furnish the war. Diplomacy State Gov, riots rock Havana, December 1897. President William McKinley dispatches the Maine as a show of strength, not saber-rattling. McKinley, the bearded Ohioan, prefers arbitration. Spain promises reforms, but hawks circle. Then, the blast. The Maine's wreck, a 374-foot behemoth, launched 1890, armed with 6-inch guns, pride of the new Navy. At 9:40 p.m., February 15th, a rumble then cataclysm. Forward magazine erupts. HULL splits. Boaties float amid oil-slick debris. Survivors, 200 rescue boats from shore. Spanish, courteous under firelight. But headlines scream conspiracy, Spanish treachery. An 1898 naval board blames a mine. No proof, but doubt lingers. Modern probes, coal bunker fire, likely. Fury boils. Remember the Maine. To hell with Spain. Rallies chant in Union Square. Congress funds 125,000 volunteers. McKinley resists, wiring Madrid for concessions. Spain balks. Weyler recalled. Autonomy offered, but insurgents reject it. March 1898. Delame letter leaks. Spain's envoy calls McKinley weak. A popularity hunter. Outrage peaks. April 11th. McKinley asks Congress to pacify Cuba. April 19th. Teller Amendment. Passes free Cuba. No annexation. April 20th. Ultimatum ignored. War declared. April 25th. Retroactive to the 21st. Theater 2, Philippines, 7,000 miles away. Emilio Aguinaldo leads Tagalog rebels against Spain since 1896. Brutality mirrors Cuba torture. Villages razed. U.S. consul in Manila wires. Revolt on verge. Intervene. McKinley orders Commodore George Dewey to Hong Kong. Steam to Manila. Destroy the fleet if war breaks. Dewey, 60, Civil War vet, cool as steel. It will be a short, sharp conflict. May 1, 1898. Manila Bay, Don Hayes. Dewey's Asiatic Squadron 7 ships, 1,700 men slips, past mines into the bay. Spanish Rear Admiral Patricio Montoyo's 10 vessels, wood and rust, anchored vulnerably. 5:40 a.m. USS Olympia signals. You may fire when ready. Gridley guns blaze. Spanish reply, sporadic outgunned, outranged. By noon, Montoyo's fleet burns. Vizcaya aground, Isla de Cuba, scuttled. Losses, U.S. 0 combat deaths, 1 later from heat. Spain 370 plus killed, ships totaled. Dewey cables. Heavy losses inflicted, squadron intact. Manila besieged. Aguinaldo returns from exile aboard USS McCulloch, promising alliance. Back home, mobilization frenzy. Rough Riders form. Teddy Roosevelt quits Assistant Navy Secretary post, recruits cowboys, Ivy Leaguers. I raised a regiment. In 3 days, regulars muster in Tampa. Logistics chaos. Uniforms, short, horses lame. Navy blockades, Cuba, May 22. Cervera squadron flees for Santiago. War's on. Splendid. John Hay calls it to Roosevelt. Short, glorious. June 10. First blood on Cuba soil. 647 U.S. Marines land at Fisherman's Point. Spanish snipers in mangroves. Hill 51 held. 6 Marines dead, first in the war. Telegraphs buzz. Marines have landed. The world will never be the same. Santiago de Cuba. Cerveras, 6 cruisers bottled by Sampson's blockade. Shafter's 5th Army 17,000 sails from Tampa. June 14. Lands June 22. Jungle heat, rotten beef plague them. Horses drop. Insurgents guide, Callisto Garcia's, Mambases. July 1. Double assault. El Cani. Lawton's, 6,000 versus 500 Spaniards in a stone fort. Expected hour, drags 10 loopholed walls, dynamite packs, 81 U.S. dead. Fort Falls, San Juan Hill. The legend. Kettle Hill, first Roosevelt's Rough Riders, Gatlings chattering, charged with whoops, then the namesake. 4,000 U.S. versus 1,200 entrenched. Smoke blinds, Spanish Mausers, cracked. Roosevelt, Pansnez askew, waves saber. Come on, you sons of bitches, do you want to live forever? Summit taken. Schefter's line breaks the siege. July 3. Naval climax. Cervera sorties, at dawn. Texas Brooklyn, pursue. Vizcaya beaches in flames. All Spanish ships wrecked or captured. Sampson claims victory, but Schley's there, she blows. Spots the breakout. U.S. losses. 1 dead. Spain 323 sunk with Santiago surrenders. July 17, 2/17, 0 troops, city starved. Guam detour. June 20, USS Charleston shells, Opera Harbor. Spanish governor sails out, Gura war. Sir, surrenders, without shot. News from Manila Bay finally arrives. Puerto Rico, July 25, miles 3, Ling Ling land, unopposed. Puerto Ricans, welcome Americans, advance inland. Yoko Asamante skirmishes light resistance. August 9, a Bonito clash, armistice halts, island yields with cheers. Les Reconcentacion Airy, home front, hero worship. Roosevelt parades in Manhattan, Hearst's headlines hail our victorious fleets, but shadows. Disease fells 2,000. Yellow fever, malaria more than bullets. Black soldiers, 10th Cavalry, Buffalo soldiers, save Rough Riders at Las Casimas, yet Jim Crow bars them from glory. Women, Clara Barton's Red Cross tents hospitals, nurses like Emily Perkins, brave fever wards. Anti-imperialist stir. Mark Twain Pence, to the person sitting in darkness, decrying benevolent assimilation. But jingoism reigns. Dewey hailed as savior. McKinley as Moses. Manila. Dewey squadron shells, shore batteries. Aguinaldo's 15,000 guerrillas encircled the city. August 13, mock battle. U.S. feints, assault. Spaniards fire blanks, surrender staged to spare pride. Stars and stripes over the walled city. But Aguinaldo barred entry, us wary of savages. Resentment simmers. Spain sues for peace, July 26, via French ambassador Jules Cambon. Cuba free, colonies ceded. Armistice. August 12, fighting halts, but Philippines to Kinley annexes. We could not leave them to themselves. They were unfit for self-government. Aguinaldo proclaims republic. January 1899. U.S. troops fire on his forces. February 4. Philippine-American War erupts, deadlier than Spain. As 4,200 U.S. dead, 20,000 Filipinos, $600 million cost. Water cure torture. Scorched earth. America's Vietnam, avant la lettre. Why fight allies? Racism. Kipling's White Man's Burden, 1899 justifies. Strategy. Coaling stations for China trade. Senate ratifies treaty, February 6, 1899, 57-27. Anti-voices thunder. Imperialism is the suicide of the Republic. Puerto Rico, Guam, quiet transitions, Boricuas vote in assemblies. Guam's Chamorros, puzzled by new rulers. Cuba, Platt Amendment 1901 U.S. bases, veto power de facto protectorate till 1934, wars toll U.S. 3,000 dead 90% disease. Spain, 15,000 plus, mostly yellow fever, insurgents countless, cost $250 million, bonds redeemed. The Spanish-American War. A splendid little war, for some America's debutante ball on the world stage. In 113 days, it buried an empire, birthed another, and forced a republic to confront its ambitions. From Manila's Bay to San Juan's Hill, glory gleamed, but beneath. Ambitions cost, and lives and liberties deferred. McKinley's caution yielded to Roosevelt's charge, isolation to intervention. What if the main was accident? No war, no Panama, no Pacific pivot. History's fork, chosen in fire. This tale warns. Journalism sways nations. Proximity breeds conflict. Liberation twists, yet it propelled America flawed, fierce to lead heroes. Complex Dewey's precision, Roosevelt's bravado, Aguinaldo's betrayed dream.